Alrighty. Well, as you can see, Rocky is settling down for a long winter's nap. Um, I'm going to update you a bit on the GoFundMe. What am I saying? It isn't GoFundMe. It's Buy Me a Coffee. Buy me a coffee, damn it. I need my caffeine. Okay, now, here we go now. But I'll update you a bit on that. I had to take the light from the far end and bring it over here. I wasn't able to fix the light that was here. There's a short in the switch, and I can't open up the switch without destroying it. So anyway, I just set it aside and I put the other light on. We turn this off so I'm not shining it in Rocky's eyes obnoxiously. You can see he's going to have a sleep on my legs. Anyway, I did receive my deposit from the Buy Me a Coffee fund, not GoFundMe. I don't have a GoFundMe account. The Buy Me a Coffee fund, and so I'm going to update you a bit on that. Now I put in for the $772 that was there when I put in for it. But what I didn't realize is that $772 is actually U.S. funds. And so basically I got to add about 40 cents, a little over 40 cents to every dollar contributed because of that. So it actually came out to $1,084 Canadian funds that went into my bank account. Now, I just sent a message off to the social worker I deal with my Ontario disability pension, because I do receive a small pension from the province of Ontario. It's not a lot. It certainly isn't enough to live on these days because the cost of living has just shot through the roof, I mean, you can't even rent a place these days unless you're in geared to income housing. That's the only way you can do it on a disability pension in Ontario. I think it's the same all across the country, really. But I only know for certain about Ontario because that's the province I live in. Anyway, I don't know what she's going to tell me yet. It may be that I won't be allowed to keep this money. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen yet. And so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to wait and get word back from her. I'm hoping she will answer me tomorrow. I think she probably will. She's generally pretty good to answer. When I send her a message, she's generally pretty good to answer. And so I've told her about this coffee fund. I've told her the amount of the payment I received in the bank, which is $1,084, and there's so many cents. I can't remember the exact number of cents now, but anyway, I did send all that information to her along with a link to the Buy Me a Coffee page, and I asked her basically, how is this income to be reported? How much of this income am I allowed to keep? And where do I stand with ODSP while receiving this income? And I also let her know that this was the first month, this is the first payment I've received. I also let her know that I don't know what the income from the page will be month to month because it's a totally donation-driven thing. So I can't say. It's just whatever people contribute, that's what it'll be. So I'm just waiting, and I invited her to, to ask me for any additional information she will need. So that's where we're at. I have to report the income. You can't get away with things like that. You can't have $1,000 going into your bank account. So before anybody tells me, well, you fool, you shouldn't have told the government or whatever, you really have to. You can't get around it. I mean, they have the right to look into your bank account. It's just part of the thing of receiving this pension that I receive. And so there's just no way around it, really. I mean, it has to be reported. Um, So, just to save all the people who might comment and say, "You fool, what did you do that for?" Because I know some will say that, or at least I suspect some will say that. I have good reason to report it anyway. Plus, I am trying to be on the up and up. It may cost me. I may suffer greatly because I reported it. And if that happens, it won't be the first time I've suffered, for being honest. And so, I don't know. It'll just be what it'll be. I don't trust the government. I know the government will find 8 different ways to screw you over before you can even get your pants down. I know before you can even undo your belt, they'll find 8 different ways to screw you. And I know that. But still, I don't control them. I only control me. And so, and like I say, it's just there's too much risk of getting into a lot of trouble over it if I don't report it. And I have no issue getting into trouble over certain things. I'll defy the government, and I have defied the government in different ways. I defied them during COVID by refusing to follow mandates and so on. I defied them even by being openly critical of them. In Canada right now, that's getting that it's becoming a crime to openly criticize the authorities. And I have done that as well. But even so, in this particular situation, there would be an element of financial fraud involved if I didn't report it. So it's a little bit different when you're in getting into the realm of committing fraud or whatever, So I don't really want to be doing that. And so that's for those reasons I have brought it to the social worker's attention. I'm hoping that I'll be allowed to keep this money, because the reason I did this is because it's going to be a great help to me. And I really do need the help, because the pension just doesn't pay enough to survive. And I'm literally going deeper into debt to buy the things I need to survive, just for food and propane and so on, because the pension doesn't cover those expenses. Not really. It's supposed to, but it doesn't. Especially while I'm paying down all my debts that I accrued trying to live in my house that I couldn't afford to live in, because the pension doesn't pay enough to buy, to heat the house and so on. Anyway, that's where we're at. That's what's happening. There's still 200 and some odd dollars. I think it's 213, but don't quote me, in the account, in the Buy Me a Coffee account, that I haven't put in to receive yet. Of course, again, that's U.S. funds. So for anybody who's wondering what that is in Canadian funds, I find a simple way to do it is just to take the number 200 and whatever, I think it's 213. So take 213 and then go times 40 cents, times 0.40, and that'll give you the additional amount, and then you can add that to the first amount, and, it'll give you a rough idea, at least, of what it is. All right, in Canadian funds. Anyway, that's where we're at. I'll let you all know what the social worker tells me. If it turns out that this thing is going to be more trouble than it's worth because of the government, then I'll just delete the page, is all. I'm hoping that doesn't happen, but it may have to. All right. And like I say, I know you people didn't give me that money so that the government of Ontario could take it. I know that too. But that may actually be what happens. So, like I say, I'm just waiting now to hear back from my social worker. I have no clue what she's going to tell me. I didn't say anything to her earlier about my YouTube channel because it isn't monetized, so it wasn't really a need-to-know thing. And also, I didn't say anything about the Buy Me a Coffee fund until I knew the money had gone into my account. Because again, with these people, you can open up a big can of worms and then you have trouble closing it. So if something were to happen with the Buy Me a Coffee fund where I didn't receive the money, I may be screwed in 10 different ways, you know. Boy, I can think of a lot of, I don't know, I'm getting kind of obsessed with this screwing in different ways thing now. I don't know. Too many years, I suppose, celibate. I don't know. Anyway, that's where we're at. I can't tell you any more than that. I don't know any more than that, but as soon as I do know more, I'll fill you guys in. Anyway, I do appreciate the contributions you've all made. Um, I'm hoping I'll be allowed to keep the money. Um, like I say, I don't know. But even if I'm not allowed to, it means a lot. Did people here think that highly of me? I certainly didn't expect that you'd want to do that for me, even though many of you have offered me help in the past and I've turned it down. Still, I had no idea, that it was to the degree it's at as far as how people here actually care about myself and, of course, about Rocky here. Wonderful Rocky. Here's his tail up in front of his face there. He's having a good sleep with his head on my leg. Anyway, that's where we're at. I will let you know more when I know more. That's all. Anyway, this is good night. So good night to y'all. I'm feeling quite a bit better today. I've been sick most of the month, as you know. I'm still a little sick. I'm not 100% yet, but I'm definitely doing better. And yeah, that's about it. We'll talk later. We'll talk tomorrow. Bye for now.